So the recent video of the VEVOR 3000 watt amp, you guys seem to really like. So it made me think about, why not try a different VEVOR amp? So I bought another one, the 1500 watt version. Let's do all the tests. Let's find out, can it do rated power at 1 ohm? And then let's take it all the way down to half an ohm, see if we can blow it up. If you want to see that, if you like that content, stick around because here it comes. We are back once again, as promised, with another VEVOR amplifier. That's right, today we have the 1500 watt monoblock version because you guys seem to really like the 3000 watt one that we tested before. So let's take a look and see what's in the package here. Of course, we get the same owner's manual that we've seen before. It covers several different models. It's actually a very thorough owner's manual, and there's the ratings. We'll get to that here in a minute and show the ratings of this particular amp. You also get the 4 mounting screws, of course, to mount your amp anywhere except to the box. Then we have the remote bass control with the cable. Is a telephone style connection from the old school days, the RJ11 style. And this bass remote does have clip and power indicators on it, so that's very nice to have clipping for a very inexpensive amplifier. Let's get the amplifier out of the plastic here and take a look. But before that, don't eat the silica gel. Put it in your toolbox. And freshly out of the Chinese plastic, here we have the VEVOR BP-1500.1D. Looks just like the 3000 watt amplifier we had before, as we kind of expected. This one's a little bit slimmer, been a little bit more of a diet. As the time of this video is $109 or $93 if you use a coupon. On their site, we got it from Amazon. It was around $97 using a coupon. As for the ratings, it's rated 750 watts at 4 ohms, 1150 at 2 ohms, or 1500 at 1 ohm, 1%, 14.4 volts. As expected, it's pretty much identical here as far as the features of the previous amp. It does have RCA inputs and outputs. It's a single jack there for each, and these are Tiffany style connectors. We have the high pass and low pass crossovers, high pass 15 to 80, and low pass 80 to 20 kilohertz. This is a full range capable amp. Input gains adjustable from 0.3 to 6 volts. Also the bass control 0 to 12 dB at a very odd 49 hertz. Moving down, we have the connection here for the remote bass knob. This is an RJ12 jack because it had 6 different connections inside. Continuing down the amp, we have the diagnostic LEDs for power, clip, and protect, all different colors. Then we have the speaker outputs, again 8 gauge. And there's 2 different outputs. Even though this is a monoblock amp, use it for multiple speakers or dual voice coil subs. So very cool overall on this side. Once we get to the opposite side of the amp, we don't see a fan on the outside here. We do just see the remote connection there in the center. That is an 8 gauge for your fat remote wires. And then we have 4 gauge for power and ground, which accepts 9 to 16 volts DC. As for the dimensions, 6.9 inches for the width, 8.9 inches for the length, and 3 inches for the height. It is slightly taller than the 3000 watt amp we showed before. Now let's move on to the amp dyno test, where we can test the output power of this amplifier. If you haven't seen these tests before, on the left, the power output in watts. In the middle, the ohm load. On the right, the voltage of the dyno. We'll also have a remote clamp so we can estimate the amplifier's efficiency. First up, we're going to start with the 4 ohm test. Amplifier is rated 750 watts at 14.4. Very interesting because the 3K was rated 850, so not much difference there. Certified to 1% distortion and 653 at 14.36, so we were a little bit shy there of the rating. Now let's try it at 1 kilohertz and see if we can get that 750. And here you go, still can't get there, 689, 14.37. So that's not a good sign starting off if we're not even getting to the rated power at 4 ohms. Uncertified up to clipping though. Can we get the 750 to clipping? Hold on to your hats. And the answer is no. 675 at 14.25. Now it's pretty cold here in my test lab, and that's why the lithium batteries don't like it really cold, so you'll see the voltage drop quite a bit here, and it's because of the temperature in the lab. 672 dynamic. Again, 40 hertz is a track here. And yeah, 673 at the end at 14.2. So it did not meet the ratings at 4 ohms. Now 2 ohms is rated 1150. Let's try certified to 1% distortion. Can we get there? Can we get the 1150? Oh, also close, 1126 at 2 ohms, 14.32. Of course, we're going to try it at 1 kilohertz since this is a full range capable amp. Again, certified to 1%. And yes, we did get the rated power, 1198 at 14.46. So maybe they rated it 1 kilohertz and right at 14.4. So I would say it definitely passed it here at 2 ohms. Uncertified to clipping, again using the 40 hertz track, because most people are going to use this with a subwoofer. There you go, 1212 watts. So again, over the rated power, 14.21 volts. And finally here for 2 ohms, we'll run the dynamic test, sending a pulse tone of 40 hertz into the amp, kind of like a kick drum simulating music. And there you go, over 1230, about 1233 at 14.45. Now the 1 ohm test where it's rated 1500, it didn't make it at 4 ohms and barely made it at 2 ohms. Can it make it at 1 ohm? Let's find out. 40 hertz, certified to 1% distortion, and boom, 1693 with even less than 14.4, 14.27. So yeah, I'm impressed with that. Let's reset it here for the uncertified test. 40 hertz up to the clipping point. Should get more than 1697, and we do. Check this out, 1899 at 14 volts. So yo, this is almost a 2000 watt amp, slated as a 1500, which is usually backwards. They usually do the other way. Dynamic sends the pulse tone into the amp, and there you go. We're getting over 2000 watts dynamic. Voltage is a little bit stronger here because the batteries have warmed up. 2073 at 14.85. Here's the results. I did show all the way down to 8 ohms, which I did not show in the test. Efficiencies are good, about 80% up to low 90s. So pretty good overall for the 1500 watt amp. Now, if you want to see the test under 1 ohm, make sure you watch all the way to the end of the video. So we're going to do our best to blow this amp up. Let's take off the 4 screws on the bottom of the BP-1500.1D. Use the magnet here from the screwdriver, and there you can see we do have a wire on the bottom which connects to an active fan on the bottom of the amp. It's not on the side like on the 3000 watts on the bottom. It is temperature controlled as well, so it does kind of ramp up as the amp heats up. Here's the amp. You can see we'll do a fly through here, see a couple caps there, more caps there for the input filtering. Let's take a closer look. The rail caps are Chingx 2200 microfarad, 100 volt. Probably not the best brand, but you shouldn't expect they would be. 2200 microfarad, 25 volts for the power input filtering. And again, we can't really tell what the power supply is here for the transistors because they're kind of blanked out. And for the outputs, you should be able to kind of tell that, but it looks like I didn't rub off the thermal compound, so you can't really see it. But technicians out there can probably comment below. They will probably know what exactly is using this amp. But now let's move on to the pros and cons. First off, the good stuff. Yes, inexpensive. Less than $100. It did rated power plus in every load except for 4 ohms. Has a small footprint. Has 2 speaker outputs, even though it's a monoblock amp. It's not stereo output, that's mono. It's good for using multiple subs or dual voice coil subs. Bass remote is included. It does have the clip light and the power light. Potentiometer is not so great, but it does have the clip light, so we like that. Things to consider, there's just a single RCA input, single output. It is a rebranded generic. The crossovers allowed some vocals to come through, so it's not the best crossover. Reliability is kind of unknown. It is a knockoff Chinese Brazilian style amp. Protection circuit, does it have one? You have to watch all the way to the end to see. Well, there you have the test of the VEVOR 1500 watt subwoofer amplifier, which will work with mids too because it is high pass capable. But I know you guys want to know, what about 0.8, 0.67, 0.5? Can it run that low? Well, this is usually the end of the video, but you know, if you stick around with my channel, usually at the very end I show you all the cool stuff. So stick around until after the credits roll, and at the very end we will try this down to half an ohm to see if we can blow it up. What do you think is going to happen? Think it's going to blow up? Going to protect? Building the drama. Stick around to the end and find out. So the amp specifically says do not use below 1 ohm. So anything I'm doing here is really just for fun, just to show you guys. So let's first try certified at 0.8. Now we know what happened with the 3K amp. It actually went into protect. This one did not. We got 1859 watts there certified. Uncertified takes us up to clipping. We thought for sure it would go into protect here, but it did not. We got over 2086 watts at 14 volts. Then the dynamic test, let's run that one, sending the pulse tone. Again, we're using the 40 hertz track here. As you can see, we're closing in on 2500. We get 2377 at 14.58. So let's drop it down. Hey, it's Christmas time. Let's give you guys what you want. 0.67 mono. It's not rated under 1 ohm. Don't do this at home. Certified to 1%. Surely to go into protect, right? Nope, it doesn't go into protect. 1959 watts. So still hangs on. Let's reset the dyno and do the stupid test of uncertified, which takes us up to clipping, which usually will blow an amp up if it runs into clipping for very long. And there you can see 2230, 13.89. Okay, so pretty much shocking that it survived all those. Let's try the dynamic test at 0.67. And yeah, since it did the other ones, we knew it was going to do this. So there you go, 2651 at 14.7. Now last up, I'm going to show you the 0.5 test, but I'm going to talk you through these live and nationwide. We have the 1500 watt VEVOR set up here, 1/2 ohm dynamic, using the 40 hertz track. Let's see if it goes into protect. If it blows up, we've got, again, the second amp, or the second camera running here on the amp. Here we go, hold on to your hats. What's gonna do? Cringing, 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 it didn't blow. 3,000 watts, 14.67. Oh my goodness, something just is not right here. And my friends, now we have the test that is literally gonna blow up the amp. I'm pretty sure there's no way it can survive 1/2 ohm. It's only rated to 1 ohm. We did 0.8, we did 0.67. It did not go into protect. It did not blow up, which again, I'm still blown away. But let's try 1/2. I mean, you can't blame the amp if it goes up in smoke, really, because you're not supposed to go this low. And honestly, 1/2 ohm wired on the dyno is like wiring at 1/4 or even less with real speakers, because this is a static load. It does not adjust based on temperature, based on frequency, none of that. It stays at 1/2 ohm, which on a full bridge amp, that's like 1/4 ohm anyway. So I'm nervous, but I've got both cameras rolling. All right, are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, here we go. 1/2 ohm, certified. Okay, 2121. It did it. I was starting to hear it crackle and sizzle and all that stuff. So I don't think it would have lasted very long. It probably would have gone up in smoke. But I stopped the test because it stopped counting, so there's no reason to keep going. So I know what you guys are thinking. Is it going to blow up? Do we want to see that on camera? I'm sure most of you do. Let's go to the uncertified mode. Okay, Merry Christmas. 1/2 ohm uncertified. This is literally as low as I can take this 1500 watt amp on the test. And I'm pretty sure it's going to blow up this time. There's no indication that it even has a protection circuit, because I haven't had to go into protect yet. And that's kind of a bad sign, to be honest, because it's not going to survive this test. But here we go. I'm cringing. If I had another camera, I've got one on the amp, one here on the dyno. If I had another one on my face, you could see how much I'm cringing, because I know this thing's going to go up in smoke, and I know it's going to stink up my lab here. But I'm doing this for science. I'm doing this for you guys. Are you ready to see it blow up? Okay, here we go. 40 hertz, uncertified, 1/2 ohm. Okay, I saw a poof. Did you see the poof here on the camera? I saw a poof. But look, oh, okay, now the red light is on, it's in protect. We definitely had a poof and it's blinking. See right here? I'll zoom out just a little bit. It is blinking. So we've definitely killed the amp. It did not go up in tremendously loud smoke. And hopefully when I watch the screen here, I'll be able to actually tell. I don't see where the smoke is, but I'm suspecting it's power supply here. I don't see any of the caps that have, but yeah, it's not liking life right now. Definitely went to protect, but nothing too crazy that it did. I'll go ahead and turn it off. Didn't go up in smoke and flames like some of the other amps, but unfortunately it does not have a protection circuit, so make sure you're careful with this one. And too bad we can't try it on speakers now, but I kind of had a bad feeling it was going to blow up. So there you have it. The VEVOR 1500 watt amp survived all the way down to half an ohm uncertified, and it ended up putting out, what, 2300 watts at 13.7. But look at the current. It pulled almost 280 amps of current. Crazy.